going on, y'all? This is the Aspect Slant of a Changing Man. My name is Gold, and bring you another subject. I've been inconsistent on doing this stuff, but I'm gonna be more consistent on this. More time that I'm gonna find myself doing this at a better time. I'm trying to go live, so it's gonna be consistent time that I do this. It's going to be a consistent basis that I keep this going on. I'm going to get a schedule to basically make sure that every day that I'm there, even if I have nothing to talk about, I'm still going to talk about something. So, trying to get everything together so that I'm able to consistently do this. Because I want to go live. I want to get some guests on this show. I want to get it better to where it's an actual show. So, building it up from the ground up. A lot of people start with computers and stuff. I'm not starting with that. So I'm actually building it from the ground up. If you want to hit me up, my email address, mplsmikid@gmail.com, at yahoo.com. It's also mplsmikid. If you go to Instagram, if you go to Twitter, Gold Washington is my Facebook. It also could be my Instagram. I'm really uncertain on that, but if you want to hit me up with some concerns, topics, questions, anything, go ahead and hit me up with all that. I also do have a Aspect Slant of a Changing Man page that is on Facebook. Like the page, it got all my issues on there. I got a group that I'm starting to build better relationships. So it's a lot going on that I'm getting started as far as groups and expanding out so that we can get these issues out there so that people understand what's going on and help them fix their relationships. I know I say this a lot. I do say this a lot, but this is a subject, an episode that I feel is a very special episode because it's going into being satisfied and what companies and what we do that actually make us unsatisfied. And basically, I'm going to break it down. It's going to be an episode that I feel is very important that people really, really need to listen to as far as it. On an average, I was listening to this guy on Facebook today, and he was saying that he spends $84 billion ourselves or our situations. So that's a lot of money that companies actually spend on making us uncomfortable with who we are, what we do, how good we cook, what we wear, what we drive, those type of things. They make us feel uncomfortable, and as if we need to get these things that they're pitching to us as far as a product. When it comes to makeup, they're like, you don't look as beautiful if you don't have this type of makeup. Or, pitching cologne, especially like sprays, they're like, you can get more women and you're more attractive if you take a shower with this gel. People want to be around you because of your smell. It attract more women around you. When it comes to clothes, they're like, man, you look the freshest, and people look at you and your designs if you're wearing this, and it makes you not feel like you're the best looking, the best smelling, or you're not worthy of being the person that you are if you don't have these things. When it comes to food, it's like you don't cook as well as us or as fast as us, so if you need some fast food, come to us. And tomorrow, I think tomorrow, or I might make another episode, I'm going to be preaching about the revolving door and how they make us uncomfortable there, so it'll be like a part 2 of this. But it's basically just to make us feel uncomfortable. If you look at the music today, it preaches a lot of that. If you look at the movies and uh, movies and TV shows, commercials, they all tell you that you don't have the best if you don't have this, or you know, and you know, it's actually a lie, but they put on a good front and good graphics and good words in our ears to make us believe these things. And then that also goes in relationships too, because it says like she's more beautiful, and you can't get to her, but here, because here she is, and it's saying here this guy is, you can't get to him. He's, you know, breathtaking, and you can't get to them. You can't have these people, and they make us feel like the mate that we're with or the people that we're around aren't as worthy of our love as these people are, because they have stunning beauty, they have the acting skills and the muscles and the money, the cars, the big houses, and it takes away from the people that we're able to get. I mean, Instagram models are women that show their body and make you feel like, ah, man, let me like this picture because I want her. It makes you unsatisfied with, who you could be getting at the time. The number one seller of today is, well, number one seller of today is not being satisfied. The number two seller of today is sex. So in everything, you might find everything being more appealing. You might find a commercial having that more attractive female with her body showing, and you might have shows showing a little bit more skin than usual and showing these dramas where somebody's leaving somebody for their sexual desire. The number one salesman, like I said, not being satisfied, and number two, sex. I'm a big hip hop head. I still listen to music, but I'm starting to actually put it on the level of entertainment because of the fact of what they're preaching or what they're rapping about or what they're saying, especially in music. It's not what I need to be actually thinking about as far as the level of respect that I have for myself. I want to work harder. I want to become a better person. I want to be able to get, to experience some of the things that they experience, but I'm not them. So I don't want to put myself on a unsatisfied, level to where no matter what I get, I'm not satisfied with it, because they have this or they have that. I want to be able to be happy to be able to have a house that my kids can grow up in. Back in the day, a man was satisfied if he was able to build or buy a house that his family was able to, be in and not have to worry about anything. If he could pay that house off and they can live there to where, the kids can go anywhere, and if they needed to come back to that house that he built, he was happy with that. He was okay with being on that level. Today, they tell us not to be satisfied with that. Have the mansion, have the nicest car. If you're not riding in the newest car, you're not really doing anything. I also tell you in music, like, hey, if you're not, if you don't have this much money, you're not the man. If you don't do this, you're not real. If your female isn't the finest in the world, if she isn't the sexiest in the world, that's you're not worth it. And that's not true. I mean, you should be happy with who you're with, no matter what. And they'll preach the same thing to women. If he's not driving this, if he doesn't have this type of car, or he doesn't have this bank account isn't this much, he's not worth the man of your love. Or he's not worth your love to begin with because he doesn't have these things. But we got to watch out for that because, that could set us off in the wrong ways. If you're looking for somebody that has all these things and they're not the right person, but you have a good guy that doesn't have it yet, it can, you can set yourself off for failure. If you leave a guy that is good and get with a guy that is bad because he has it, You could look back and the guy that has it ain't gonna have it in the future. Not saying it always happens, but it could be in the case that he doesn't have it in the future. And then you look back to that good guy and he works himself up to have it all, and you missed the opportunity to actually be with somebody because you wanted him to be perfect at that time, which wasn't happening. But now you look and you're like, man, I wish I would have stayed there. I wish I would have been satisfied with him before and who he was, because look at him now. Or it's like that case back in high school. They didn't look good, but then in high school, but then they blossomed up out of high school and they become somebody that is sexually desired. And it's the same type of case. Like, you got to be careful who you're dissing or what you're looking at the moment, because it might not last forever. And when you look back, you might miss out on something great because you're not satisfied with growing with a person, instead of thinking that that person is already grown and I'm going to be great around that. It also goes for the men because, I'm a man and I've been there. I've cheated, before, cheated a lot before. And, just to change my ways, but I was always thinking like, man, I can have this right now. But I wasn't thinking about what it would do for the later on. Like, if I should be okay with who I'm with. Because if I go and experience this woman for one night and it breaks up and then this female doesn't want to be with me, what am I supposed to do? Or I go be with this female that isn't, exactly what I thought she was. And, I could have been with somebody great and we don't work out. I didn't missed out on an opportunity to be with somebody great. I wasn't thinking that at the time. What I was thinking is just, I wasn't satisfied with this. I wasn't satisfied with what was going on. I wasn't thinking of how I could be satisfied with it. I was thinking of just the experience of being with somebody else. And not to say I wasn't satisfied with them altogether. You could be satisfied with everything that a person is, but not be satisfied in not having more. Some people get greedy. I got everything I want, everything I need, but there's that little bit that I want. Yeah, it could ruin what I need, but I just want to have it. And I think that, that's a temptation that we must, not being content is a temptation that we must learn to resist. Because I know one thing, that when you think that you can, the devil ain't working, he works overtime. And I believe this cold-heartedly, that he knows you better than you know yourself. This is a smart person that's been here for millions and not millions, but, whatever amount of years he's been here. And he's been sitting here analyzing, and he's been sitting here breaking down. He knows, desires, he knows, anger. He knows how to push a button. He's in your ear. He's talking. So, when you think about it, that person is sitting here saying, be unsatisfied with this. And if you haven't learned how to resist that, it's kind of hard to go through that fact. It's kind of hard to do when you don't know that it's a problem. So trying to figure it out that it is a problem and seeing it as a problem is something that we must do. Love conquers all, and we got to remember that. Love is one thing that conquers all, and the thing that they are preaching is today is that love doesn't need money to. But if you look at a lot of the situations, rich people aren't, lasting in relationships as long as we think they should be. We're looking at money conquers all, but does it really? If that was the case, then relationships would last in the rich standards of things. But we were, if you look at it